All right, what's up, guys? So we're gonna do some legs today, and because we're not doing what we did last week, we'll start off first with hamstrings, because that's our weakest point. We'll do leg curls. We'll do stiff leg deadlifts, and what else? I'll probably add something else if I find anything. And after that, we'll just move on to squats, some leg extensions, probably hack squats, or I'll put leg press because I haven't done that variation. Let's try leg press, then we'll do some squats. Yeah. lost my breath. So that wraps up for legs. Let's go down to posing it. Afterwards, I gotta get my cardio. Good thing I told my mom before going into the gym, she can bird the boss a little. Gotta love your moms, man. Just give me a moment, guys. I need dehydrate, I'm not gonna lie. All right, so let's see. So far, ever since I started the Dorian, I feel like my legs have sort of shrinked. But yeah, they're a bit smaller than a month ago. And I think that's just because of the amount of frequency / intensity that I've been able to apply. I think my legs respond better. It's a bit of a mix because that one time when we did the last thing from my workout like a month ago for legs, that was really good. I felt a lot of activation doing that. But that was because I did the whole drop sit on the leg extensions. And even so is the structure of how I moved to the next workout to the next, so. Yeah. Yeah, it needs a lot more room for improvement to go in. I also need to shape my legs. And then as for the hamstrings, it's starting to come in just a little. Just a little bit. Yeah, slowly but surely. I think that's about the same. Sometimes there's one that's bigger than the other, but at least in my case, they're both about equally the same. And for calves, yeah, this is where, you know, the hamstring and calves come in, because when you're going like this and then you're preparing to do either a lat spread or your double bicep. But yeah, can you guys see from here? I'm not even sure. I think you can. Anyways, that wraps it up. I will say that today's leg day has been better compared to what I was training legs with Dorian's program. And again, I want to reiterate, there's nothing wrong with training the way how Dorian does. And you know, to be honest, I wouldn't even be sure if I was training directly as him, because again, if you're trying to incorporate a lot higher intensity with lower volume, you need a spotter. You need to. I mean, it's kind of common sense. How can you push so much weight to failure even by yourself? I mean, you can't. You can't. That's why Dorian did a lot of machines and having a spotter too. So we can have just a bit more reps to come in to go to failure. But in my case, because I don't have anyone to train with, I train solo, it's better for me to put a bit more frequency into this game. A bit more reps, a bit more sets. And even structuring a little bit of the workout towards starting with my weakness. My weakness right now is my hamstrings. So that's the workout. That's why I always start with the leg curls, and then I move to stiff legs. And then the last thing I do is quads. Quads can be a lot more improved for what I did today. I think I was kind of just retesting the waters back to what I was doing. But I think if I would have done exactly this, almost exactly the same as I did the last time, that really popped out my legs, I think I would have had the same result. And I need to have better sleep, yeah. I want to do the cardio, but I just want to go home, eat, and then go directly to bed. Because I don't want to fidget with things that just come by. I just want to go home, eat quickly, and then go to bed so I can recover. I feel like I really need to recover for what I did these past few days. Because my triceps, hell, I'm gonna be honest with you. The arm day that I did 3 days ago, my triceps are still just a little sore. I train hard. And that's surprising because arms are a smaller muscle, they recover faster. But I need to sleep longer. So I think that's where you can really understand how much you can gauge based on how much you can recover. So in my case, I feel like my triceps are sore. That's an indicator like, okay, I need to sleep more, I need to eat better. And yeah, there's those really two things. I know I need to sleep better because I've not been sleeping as good. So I know that that's definitely the source. There's always a source problem. It's not, you don't get one thing out of nowhere. There's always a reason why you're having a problem with whatever you're trying to do, whether it's your soreness, whether it's your gains. There's one thing that's preventing you from doing it. And in my case, it's the sleep. I know for sure it's that. Okay, damn, I'm tired. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna try to go home, eat fast, and sleep. But hope you guys enjoyed this. Train hard and learn from your workouts, you know. Some days, hell, even today, I felt like what I had a month ago or two, where just a bit tired of constantly coming in every day and trying to increase my muscle, but that's what it takes. That's what it takes. Anyways, take care, guys. I'll see you later.